Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Welcome to another episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community, the longest running community podcast in the country, continuously running and hosted by Drew Schlosberg for 18 years now. Sponsored by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing amazing, incredible things to support this community of San Diego for over 60 years. But if you've been listening to the show for 18 years, then you know that I am not Drew Schlosberg. My name is Charles Parisi. I'm the CEO of Cloudcast Media, and we're so proud to have this show as part of our network. And boy, oh boy, we're going to have a great episode here today. Before I introduce the guests, though, let me say I'm sharing the mic today with two of our amazing young people helping to make Cloudcast, something special. Kyra Schwartz.
Hi.
And Brandon Joe.
Hello. Thank you very much.
And Kyra actually is not only an amazing in a million different ways, she's also the host of her own show called Kyra at 2 a.m. And maybe we'll reveal a little bit about what that show's all about. And Brandon is actually the associate producer of Spotlight on the Community. And you never know, we might just be doing a podcast with Brandon because he's also the founder of a nonprofit. He's only a sophomore at UCSD, but he has founded his own nonprofit called Treasure Hacks, teaching soft skills, life skills to young folks. So, but boy, oh boy, we're going to have ourselves a good episode here today, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the two of you apparently went to rival high schools.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
So since we are going to be talking a little bit about boxing and life skills and youth empowerment, I want the two of you to promise no fisticuffs live in the air, okay, please?
It'd make for a good episode, though, Charles.
It would. It really would.
Maybe if it was a video episode.
You can. It's audio. It's different. It's
Yeah.
unique. Audio boxing.
Yeah, audio boxing. But let me introduce the guest for today's episode, because we're here with an unbelievable organization called ABC Youth Foundation, which was started all the way back in 1957. We're going to get into how, why, and the purpose of this amazing organization. But let me introduce Billiy Moore, the legendary Billiy Moore from the iconic Moore family here in San Diego, and LeMar Slater. Yes. Gentlemen, welcome to Spotlight on the Community.
Well, thank you, and it's awfully nice to be here. And I was just kind of watching your youngsters here, and Brandon.
Brandon, correct.
Yeah, he was such a gentleman when he escorted us back, but he caught my interest because he talks like a youngster that's looking beyond these years already. And he was talking about going abroad to really learn how to appreciate how great the United States is and what it has to offer. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, because Brandon is no question he's an old soul in a million different ways, and the reason why he's been so successful young is I call him the world's greatest natural networker. He literally knows everyone in San Diego already. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
You've got him blushing right now.
I told him he should trademark that name, the world's greatest natural networker, trademark. And it's because he connects with people. But when you mentioned he sees beyond, okay, I want to go back to the beginning then, because there's another individual, another human who graced this planet by the name of Archie Moore, who saw beyond. That's right. So, Billiy, I want to ask you a question right out of the gate, because we know the greatness of Archie Moore as a pugilist in that square circle, as one of the greatest fighters who ever put on the gloves. But for a second, I don't want to talk about the fighter. I want you to share with our audience the man and the father that Archie Moore was.
Well, that's kind of Well, it's not hard. It just kind of, there were so many entities about him. And one of the first things I like to share with people, and before we get going, LeMar was also able to sit under his tutelage before he passed on. And he couldn't get fights in the United States. And he was led to, here's an African-American man in the United States of America. And back at that time, it was, a little difficult. He took it upon himself to make his way to Argentina. And he met Juan Perón, who was then the dictator. And are you all familiar with the play Evita?
Of course, yes. Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Okay. Evita was Juan Perón's wife.
Correct.
He lived in the castle with them. And we have pictures of it. Him being with Juan Perón's cabinet and all of his members. So after he had went and stayed in Argentina for a while, he was able to get fight after fight after fight. And he was finally able to orchestrate and come back and get a world title fight with Joey Maxim, who he beat. And
who was a great fighter? Joey Maxim.
Joey Maxim was a heck of a fighter. He met with 3 presidents of the United States. He worked for Ronald Reagan, and he'd met with George Bush and President Eisenhower. Not about boxing. He was able to, he was so natural about so many things about life. And he met with President Eisenhower, and he said that the United States is headed for a gang and a drug epidemic. Now, that was back in 1957. And I imagine some people probably say, well, what the heck is he talking about? But where are we now? Where are we now? And he told Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, if we would go into prevention, he mentioned the word prevention, not rehabilitation, but prevention, we could save billions of dollars and millions of lives. Now, here's a guy that's a professional boxer, but we're talking about the survival of life now. And he had that uncanny ability to see into that. So with that, he developed an organization called A-B-N-C, Any Boy Can. It was Any Boy Can. And I could see Kyra now, what do you mean any boy can? I know she's thinking, because a while ago when you were talking about the boxing, she really kind of...
That's good.
She flipped a switch. But it's, and then it was Any Boy Can. And then, I think it was early part of the 80s, late in the 70s, it was changed to Anybody Can. And what had happened, I was speaking one night, and I said, with the emergence of our powerful, strong women, and the lady, she stood up. She said, excuse me, sir, we didn't just emerge, we've been here all the time. That's what a young lady stood up and said.
Nice. God, I love it. I love it.
And so So with that, the organization was changed to Anybody Can. And with that, here's LeMar Slater, who's with me here. LeMar was a part of that change, but he was a boy, so he doesn't get as much attention as Kyra would.
That's true.
But
That's true.
LeMar he's a product of ABC. He went through the San Diego school district system with honors, and then he went on to graduate from Morehouse College with honors, and then he came back to give back. And that's what he's been doing for many, 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 many odd years now.
Well, listen, Billy, literally, you could probably hear a pin drop in here because it's so beautiful to listen.
Yeah.
You took us from Argentina to the White House, and the wisdom and the knowledge and the foresight that your dad had to be thinking that far in advance over a problem we're clearly dealing with at a higher level than ever in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as my dad would say, well, we give God the glory because he was a believer. And everything that came along with ABC, as we do now, we credit it to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I think that's beautiful that you put it that way. Let's talk about that word believe for a second, because, Kyra and Brandon, anybody can. Right? It's beautiful. And we know that. And LeMar, so let's pivot to you, because here's my question for you. We know that anybody can. How do you get the kids to believe that in themselves?
That's a great question. I almost take it for granted. I've been around ABC for so long, but it's moments like this that I really get a chance to say, wow, and I appreciate Instructor Moore for bringing me along today and just allowed me to be a part of this wonderful organization that's meant so much to me. You see, I was a kid that came up through the program. I can remember his father working out with us in the gym. He was a more senior man at the time.
You got in the ring with the one and only Archie Moore?
No, not like that.
Because LeMar, he would have taken you.
No, I think I know he would have taken me. But it was just an honor to be at a gym. I mean, this was back early, I would say, early 90s, maybe late 80s, where we were able to just be around these great men that were down home and just, you would have never known that they had done all these amazing feats in their craft, their sport, their profession, and yet they showed that they cared about us by taking out the time to really just see what we were about. I mean, if you come to the gym to this day, that legacy still carries on. You don't get to walk through there without somebody asking you, how's your day? How are you doing? And they mean it. The kids want to know. They want to know that, you're coming in there with some positivity or with some things that are going on, great. And if not, let's get together and figure out how we can make it better.
Did you believe in yourself when you first walked into that gym?
I think I was kind of a shy kid at first, and I think the gym really helped open me up to being more than they saw more in me than what I saw at the time. They were the ones that believed that I could go off 3,000 miles away from home and go to school and make it back with a degree. And they were the ones that, encouraged me to be a part of the team and to share with the young people that are coming up this day and age that need tutoring, that need support, that need mentoring and encouragement. And because of ABC, I know that I can provide it. Absolutely.
That's just incredible. I mean, the things that you've hit on of just simply caring and also having that support group, because I completely relate to that as like the only reason why I'm here today is because I had people supporting me. I had my first mentor who told me that just do it. That's all I needed. No advice, no nothing, just someone to support you. And in addition to that, finding people, a community that truly cares nowadays is something rare. And to hear that you've created an amazing place where people can simply be comfortable to ask one another and treat each other like a human being and not a number is amazing. And I love it. And just like on that topic, when we go down to like the very beginnings of it, do you remember like your first mentor and like your first, I wouldn't even call it like a mentor. It's more like a friend who walks the path with you. What was that experience like?
I would say, I think that looking back, you know, one thing about ABC has been constant. And so I don't really remember a time where I wasn't part of the gym and part of ABC looking after me and laying a roadmap for us. We have something wonderful down there called the ABC concept. And it teaches you about the simple do's and don'ts of life. You know, there's a way that leads to a positive outcome, and there's another way that you could go that isn't quite as positive. And so what this does is it reminds you of the things you should do and the things you should not do. And you share it in kind of almost a militant roll call fashion. Each person shares out one thing that they know is good, one thing that they know is should not be done. And that kind of basic, simple, rudimentary training has been something that's been part of me my whole life. And it pays off because it gives you a sense of we're all in this together. Like you said, a mentor walking the road with you, definitely I feel that and I appreciate that from as long as I can remember.
So it goes down to the fundamentals. And I think that's something that's extremely important. If you don't have like a family or somebody that advises you on what is right and wrong, then that's not something that, well, you learn from your environment. And if your environment's not good and you don't have a place where you can learn these fundamentals, it's tragic. And I can't help but respect all of the things that you've done for youth and teaching them these fundamentals that are vital, because sometimes it's amazing how many people might lack these fundamentals. And tell me about like, what are the most important things do you think that a person should abide to while living?
Billy, why don't you tackle that one?
Well, I need to clear something up here.
Mm-hmm.
I've probably made every mistake that I shouldn't have made. And so I don't want to sit here acting like I've been this choir boy and all that stuff, because I haven't. Not at all. Believe it or not, this young man, LeMar Slater, has kind of helped me navigate. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. The youth that are around you, as LeMar just stated a while ago, we are really like a family.
That's right.
I mean, all of these kids, it is truly like a family. So, what sticks with you is, as LeMar just stated, the simple, basic do's and don'ts of society. Now, at an early age, I learned about don't refuse to go to church, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't smoke, don't drink, don't gamble, don't talk back to your parents, don't talk back to seniors. I learned that at an early age. Okay, go to church, go to school, go to junior high school, go to high school, get a high school diploma. After you get the diploma, you got to do what? Go to college. Then what? Get a college degree. Then do what?
Get a job.
Got to get a job. and it's
that one step in front of the other, building blocks.
And that's. Let me ask a question here, and I don't want to be belittling our school system, but do they teach the basic, simple do's and don'ts in school?
Not really.
No. No.
No, they don't.
And we, and I'm a much older guy. I'm 74 years old. But simple basic do's and don'ts should carry on from generation to generation to generation.
They absolutely should.
If we love our children and we want to see them do better, we have to talk about the simple basic do's and don'ts. And this is something that, and I didn't stick with them, but I know about them. So when I drifted over here, I said, whoa, wait a minute, I've gone too far. And you have people around you that care. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's simple that we can do to care about one another and to show that we care. I don't like using that term I like we. At ABC, I believe right now the feeling is that as long as you know how to work a computer, you can do all right. I don't think that's not fair to our youngsters.
I agree with that.
They need to be taught the simple, basic, and this guy, he said something, Brian, about, what was that you said about being simple, something simple?
Something about being simple, do you think, as in?
Yeah, you talked about
you had mentioned
breaking
something.
down the simple steps.
Right. I mean, just going back to that, it's everything. Maybe this is a little divergent from what I said, but a lot of it does go down to the simplicities of it. I have always been taught that if you build a house and you build it on shaky foundations, house collapse. And I agree with you on the education part, where we're being taught all of these, the wood, the metal, to build up the house, the piping, when we're building it on like dirt, like sand. And I feel that there's no point in teaching all of that when you produce a lot of people who still struggle in life because they don't know what is right and wrong.
They don't, oh man. Now to hear a young, how old are you?
20.
To hear a young man make that statement about a lot of people still not knowing the difference between right and wrong. A kid, Aaron, he called me. He's 18 years old. And he said, Coach, can I talk to you? I said, sure. He said, I'm homeless. I said, what do you mean you're homeless? 18-year-old kid.
Wow.
With the family. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, they put me out. I said, what? Because, this kid, man, he's right on. So it appears. And this is where we're being fooled in society by a lot of our youngsters that need help. That need help. And so I said, can you meet me at the gym? He said, yes, sir. So he came over. I said, what's going on? He said, well, he was living with some relatives. He said, they put me out. And this is a kid, you can tell, he's trying to walk the straight and narrow. He has a job. He goes to work every day. And he's trying to study to be a nurse. And I think right now he's going to City College. I said, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, I'm going to Los Angeles. I said, what are you going to do in Los Angeles? He said, well, just hang out with some of my friends. And I said, what do they do? You got to get this. He says, oh, they just hang out and get high every day. So I said, well, wait a minute, so hold it. You're going to just hang out with your friends. Then what are you going to do? He said, I don't know. Right. He said, Coach, I'm going to be truthful with you. I really don't care.
Wow.
This is what a lot of our youngsters are dealing with. we have so many entities besides A, B, and C. We have the Boys and Girls Club of America. We have the YMCA. We have a lot of entities. If they could get the proper funding, they can do something to make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's to face something like that one-on-one, and ABC has never had a situation like that. Out of all these years, there's only, I like to put it like this, there's only one kid that's kind of got a hold of something he probably shouldn't have, but I see him all the time, and
I know.
Walking up and down the street, and he waves, "Hey, Coach, our kids are in trouble." And this, oh man, this. We have the ability, as Brian and I were talking, this is the greatest country in the world. And this young man said, well, but us youngsters, we don't appreciate it. We don't know. And in that next breath, he says, I would love to be able to travel so I can see how great this country is.
I mean, that's been my experience. I spent the summer abroad in Ireland studying anthropology and archaeology. And as amazing as that experience was, going out and, living on my own in a country that I was not very used to, and being able to explore and see the rural areas of that beautiful country was amazing. But the homesickness that I felt for Southern California was so insane. I mean, it wasn't just because it's raining all the time in Ireland, never getting a break from the rain, and I missed the sun, and I was so pale. But it was also just the way of life in Southern California is unlike anywhere else in the entire world. And this is something that I've noticed as someone whose family loves to travel. And I myself am not from America. I was adopted as a child from Kazakhstan. So kind of having like that little background in my life, and then seeing Southern California, where I've lived for 17 years now. It's and I'm 19, so but it's an amazing place. And even in America itself too, this community of Southern California it's so different from Northern California. It's so different from every single state. And so to recognize that the place that we live in and the country that we live in provides us with freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of a bunch of different freedoms. And the fact that we are able to fight for the things that we want and the things that, we hold true to ourselves and things of that nature. And you don't get to see that in a lot of parts of the world, where you're like, I want to say something, but I cannot say something. But here it's, you're able to stand up. And I think that's amazing. And I feel like this generation that we're in, us too, Gen Z, we've kind of gone through a lot in the past few years with COVID and shutting down of schools and losing friends because of that, and losing interaction and going actually insane in your bedroom. If anyone else had that experience.
So it's real. Yeah. People need to know it. They don't realize how real it is.
It is. It's very real. And so having people like you out in the world who are there to mentor and to help other kids who may also be struggling the same way you might have when you were younger, and being that helping hand for so many people, regardless of the human mistakes that you may have made, I think is such an empowering message to show these kids that, hey, look, it's okay to make mistakes. You are a human being. You are not destined to be perfect. That's not you. That's divine. That's for Jesus. He's perfect, right? But
that's right.
You yourself, you are human. You are flawed, and that's okay. You just have to recognize those flaws and recognize those mistakes and learn from them and become better because of them. And a lot of kids don't get that resource of someone being like, you messed up, but we can fix it.
Yes.
Did anyone die? No, we can fix it. that's like the greatest way to like put it, really. And having people like you in the world it makes it a brighter place, honestly.
Billiy, I think we're going to have her come coach down at ABC.
That's what I see. It's not just we're going to talk about programs because it's not just boxing. Boxing is just a tool, just a catalyst to get them in there.
Tool for what they're doing down at ABC Youth Foundation.
Just a workout.
Because literally, you mentioned trouble and mistakes. I want to share this with you because Billiy and I were together on Sunday at my favorite place to be on a Sunday in San Diego County. There's no better place in my humble opinion. Does anyone want to ask me where that might be?
It's a barbecue.
It is. It's called Bow-Legged Barbecue, and I have no interest in the company. I'm not a paid endorser.
All right.
There's just no better place to be. Yeah. And of course, when Billiy walks in, it's like, oh my gosh, Billy Moore's here. Billy Moore's here. So Billiy and I were together. I was introducing a young woman to Billiy.
Yeah.
She used to box at the University of Notre Dame. Okay, it was a boxing club at Notre Dame, and she wanted to do some work with youth in San Diego. I said, say no more. I know who I want to introduce you to. Yeah. So Bernadette, she goes by Bernie, came down there, and Billiy asked her an important question, and that's why the reason why I was bringing this up, and we're going to land the aircraft, I promise Billiy and LeMar. He said, have you ever been in any trouble? Now, I'm a kid that comes from what the world calls troubled. Right. I never saw it that way. But he asked that question, have you been in any trouble? And I saw her struggling a little bit at first with the answer.
Yeah.
And because really it's an opportunity to talk about how we learn from trouble, how we learn from falling and failing and trying. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, LeMar or Billiy?
Well, with the girl, it's I could tell she really wanted to come out and say what it was that trouble, or just say, I've been in trouble, but she was struggling with it. It's okay. And finally she said, I got in some trouble. And no big deal. So what? We have to be able to continue to strive forward, to be the best that we can be. And that's why it's important that at ABC, where we teach our youngsters, and we see kids. Let me share with you where part of the danger lies in this day and time. Bullying is at an epidemic proportion.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yes. As someone who had to experience it through middle school, it is the worst thing a human being can do to another human being, and the fact that children do it to each other is beyond me.
They keep talking about gangs. Okay, that is. Because if we let these bullies keep doing what they're doing, the gangs are going to get worse than what they are. Because kids are going to try and get protection any kind of way that they can. But at ABC, a lot of our kids have to walk through, from National Avenue to Ocean View to Imperial. They have to walk through 3 gang territories.
That's right.
In order to get to the gym. We've never had an issue. Never.
And it's partially, too, because you are so widely respected in the community called Southeast San Diego.
Yeah.
And the rest of San Diego needs to understand what you're doing down there. But you're respected. You're admired for what you're doing there.
We give God glory. But there's a story I'd like to tell. It's about a young man by the name of Brian Broomberg. His dad was a doctor. His dad has passed on now. And that's when we were down on 5th Avenue.
That's right.
This kid came in. He was going to La Jolla High School. And he'd come down. And so he finally took up boxing. And he was a kid that got in trouble from time to time. And then I kind of wound up knowing his mom and dad. We got to be close over the years. And my wife and I went out to his graduation party at the house. Now, he came to ABNC when I think he's 12, 13, 14 years old. And so I got ready to leave. And his mom, she said, Billiy, hold up. And she got up and she read a letter. And well, prior to that, I'd went to an art show. His mom used to do, he did art. And so it was another lady that was an artist from this family. They were from South Africa. And she said, oh, you're the miracle worker. And I said, no, what do you mean? Well, Brian Bloomberg, they called him the La Jolla Terror. But this young man, he's working for some studio now. He does
Movies.
Movies. He does movies. And his mom, in reading the letter, she said, if it wasn't for ABNC, Brian would have never graduated from high school.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
And this is a kid from La Jolla. And I talk about him and I say his name because he is one outstanding young man. An outstanding young man. And ABNC teaches black, red, white, yellow, and brown. EGBDF. Every good body does fine. That's if we work together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you're ever looking for a dance teacher, I am happy. I would love to be a part of this. I mean, just the impact and change that you are putting out into the world is just amazing. I don't even have words for it.
Well, this guy here, he's the head of our learning center.
I was going to say, we definitely could use you guys' wonderful minds down there.
Hey,
we do tutoring
absolutely.
and teaching every day of the week with homework help. Sometimes kids just come in and need to be around somebody that can say something positive to them, that can help them read a book or help them just figure out anything they're trying to do in life. And then in the summertime, we do a whole learning academy. It's called the Summer Bridging the Gap program. And we have the chance to do things like teach dance, teach chess,
That
teach
would be
art.
awesome. Yeah.
We'd love to have you guys.
That would be so cool.
Well, one of the other things we're going to talk about, LeMar and I were trading some text messages because I'm
Beautiful.
lucky enough to say that Cloudcast Media is working on a project with your school, Morehouse
That's right.
College.
The house.
And it's kicking off in July. It's a program called DOUGH, D-O-U-G-H, DOUGH, Entrepreneurs Rising. It's actually an entrepreneurship program, podcast, camp program, financial literacy, and Morehouse is our partner on the project. And so what we need to be doing is we need to be collaborating with you right here in San Diego.
Right.
Let's do it.
We call it Schoolcast, where we power up podcasts for middle school and high school students to allow them to learn how to use their voice and communicate all the things that Billiy, you always talk about.
Yeah.
And so let's make that magic happen. And
Please,
Kyra, and
let's do it.
Magic and
All
Brandon,
right.
your
Yeah,
magic, and
absolutely.
let's because I don't. Even though we've launched in Atlanta, there's no reason we shouldn't be doing even more work.
That's right.
Right here in San Diego. We're working 7 days a week to do good work, but we need to do more. And it'd be great to be down there with you, LeMar, and make some magic happen with Kyra and Brandon, some of the other things
Yeah, that'd be
we're doing
great.
with students.
Yeah, absolutely. We
Billiy,
would love to.
Billiy,
We would love to have.
Billiy, I'm going to jump all the way back for a second. Here.
Okay,
So
okay.
tell me how you feel every time you walk in that place. Do you feel your father?
Man. There was a guy who, every now and then, this is kind of what happens. when we were over on Imperial. A guy came. He came in the office, and he saw me, and he took off running. And then he came back. He said, "Billy, honest to God, my dad had passed."
Right.
He said, "I thought you were your dad sitting there."
But the resemblance is remarkable.
I love it, but it's hard for me to see it, but I love it. Back here, every now and then I go through these things. I go through things I like to say that kids go through. My wife asks me all the time, "Why do you beat yourself up so much?"
I asked him the same thing.
Yeah. He asks me the same thing. He does. So what'll happen? I can be really headed down in the dumps, and because it's a lot of us has been through some things, and we have to be careful. Whenever I get when something grabs a hold of me, because the devil is real. And God has something for all of us to do. And it really shows in you two.
Yes.
About 2 years ago, I was really like in a slump. This guy came in. He said, "Man, I sure thought that was your dad sitting there." Yeah. When I walk in that place, there's a picture that sets up. And to some people, this might sound crazy, but it's okay. I can look up at this picture. And my dad, when he got a little angry or something, his lips would get real dry. He'd get real dry, a little ashy like. I look up at that picture, and I say, "Oh hell!" That's what I would say, because it's and I really feel like, well, I shouldn't have done that. So I most definitely, and then when I'm good, there's a smile on his face. He never did a big smile. He was very cagey.
That's why he was one of the greatest fighters ever. He was cagey.
That's right. So, I feel his presence every single day. And something is real about the after.
LeMar, what would you like to say to Archie Moore right now?
Oh, wow.
You had a few words for us?
I would say thank you. Thank you for, number one, his legacy. I mean, we hear it all the time about the work that he was able to do. My coach was over in Canada, and he was greeted by someone that said, "Aren't you the son of Archie Moore? Your dad made an impact up here in Nova Scotia, Canada."
Yeah.
It was a part of the country.
Wow, of all places, Nova Scotia. That's crazy.
You don't hear that one a lot.
Shout out Nova Scotia.
Exactly.
Actually, what the guy had said, I was working with a guy, his coach was up in Canada, and so he said, "My coach want to talk to you." He said, "Because of Archie Moore, Nova Scotia, Canada has always, I guess, been kind of known as the downtrodden part of Canada." He said, "Because of Archie Moore, there's a section in Nova Scotia, Canada that's considered one of the upper middle class places in Canada."
That's right. That's right.
So it's
I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
it is.
And so you have that. You have just his legacy in boxing, knowing about him training people like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. I mean, the list goes on. So you're really sitting under the shadow of something great, and it's awesome. It's awe-inspiring, and I'm just grateful to have a small part of the piece to play.
It's incredible. Brandon, Kyra, any final thoughts or questions for Billiy and LeMar?
Man, I mean, I could just listen all day, because one of the things that I find most helpful in giving perspective on the world is stories. And hearing all the different stories of what a great man he was, it gives me so much energy to do something of the same, whether lesser or more caliber. That's something that is beautiful to see, that the people of an entire town remember him, and the entire town has been changed because of one man. And that's amazing. It just it makes me very excited. It makes me very excited, and makes me all the more want to do more in this world.
And I just want to say, this young man sitting next to me is picked up right where he's left off. We've got so many students that have come through our gym that are now college graduates. One is just on his way back to become a resident physician right here at Scripps, went off to University of Washington, picked up his medical doctorate degree right here from San Diego, Abraham Lopez. And so we're excited to welcome him back. And there's countless others that have done great things in their schooling and life, but I'm always admiring. I have to say thank you to this man as well, because one of the things that he celebrates just as much as the average person would celebrate a college degree, he celebrates families. A student will come by and say, "Coach, I'm pregnant," and he gets all scared. "Oh, what's happening? What are we going to do?" No, I'm married. Here's my husband. Let me introduce you to my family. And the smile gets 10 miles wide. But that's the type of guy he is. He cares about family, and he cares about everyone who he meets. I don't think he meets a stranger.
Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. I mean, to show that you really care for your community and for the kids of your community is incredibly important. And, I want to say on behalf of, the youth in general, just that impact, and just the fact that it's so clear how much you care about this. It means so much. And I want to say that the story about the photo in the office and how you feel your father's presence brought me to tears a little bit. I can only imagine what that would feel like. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing that, even every day you think of him, and I could feel the love coming from it and the respect, and it really shone through in that moment. And I have tremendous respect for you and for your father and for your organization. And I think it's just overall incredible and awesome. And I think you guys are incredible and awesome, and keep doing what you guys are doing, because you are making change. You are making big changes and helping so many people.
We give glory to God.
Give God the glory.
Thank you. We thank you. We thank you all for having us here, and for allowing us to sit and share. And it might be a good idea one day to bring 4 or 5 of our A, B, and C students here.
Yeah,
and let them sit around with Kyra and Brian.
There's no question, Billiy, we would love to have you and LeMar back and bring a couple of your students, whether they're even current students or some of your alums that have gone on. Of course, we have LeMar went to Morehouse, or the gentleman who picked up his MD degree, but we need to do this more regularly. But we also need to set up a program down there at ABC to teach young people how to use their voice. I know that's important to you with things like the Urban Planning Youth Council. Maybe we'll talk about that next time you're here, because I know you really want to empower young people.
That's right.
To control every element of having a great life.
That's it.
And so listen, this has been a really, really unbelievably...
There's somebody you might want to get on this show. Her name is Marinica, and she's the president what was it, YMCA? Up in Solana Beach where I went the other day.
Yeah, that was YMCA.
Yeah, took some kids. A friend of mine, Doug Allred, is the one that turned me on to Solana Beach YMCA. She's one of the guys that helped to develop. But we took a group of our kids. She had invited us up. And, that's a whole different way of life from down where we are.
So, listen, we could literally do 12 episodes on just that point about getting out of your own neighborhood and seeing what else is out there.
Yes.
It changed my life. I know it. I talk about it all the time.
Well, it'd be good if we could get I like to call it cross-evangelism. And it'd be good if we could just get some kids from here, and here.
Yeah, no
and
question about
bring
it.
them I'd really like to see what kind of conversations would go on with something like that.
That may be actually, you may have come across the idea, the show that we create down at ABC. Okay. Yeah. Youth conversations from all over San Diego County,
that's a
Orange
great idea
County,
for
other
a show.
places, and bring them all down there and let's just let it go and let it flow and see what kind of conversations we get. And then maybe that's the answer, LeMar, that we'll work on creating that show live at ABC Youth Foundation. Youth talks, youth conversations. And,
youth talks.
Youth conversations.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
That's a really good idea.
Like
well,
look at you. Good job.
The coffee's kicking in.
Sorry, that was...
So listen, this has been a really special episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community. I'm Charles Parisi filling in for Drew, who's at the New Orleans Jazz Festival, but I've been really well co-hosted by Kyra Schwartz.
Yes.
Yep.
And Brandon Joe.
Nice.
Thank the two of you for not only being great co-hosts, but also being phenomenal young humans.
Yes.
The lesson I want you to take away from this is big ideas always start as really small ideas. One step at a time, reach one, teach one. You don't have to change 1,000 lives. You can start by changing one life.
Yeah.
Put in the work. Yeah. Like Billiy Moore has done, like LeMar Slater has done, and like Archie Moore did. And so I'm going to say thank you so much to LeMar Slater, Billiy Moore.
And you asked me about Terrence Jig. Terrence is still with ABC, and Terrence is an integral part of ABC Youth Foundation.
Yeah.
Truly
Terrence is our executive director. And he's locked in. He can't go anywhere.
That's right. Well, listen, Terrence is a great guy. I've met him. And to just give a salute to ABC Youth Foundation for the world and the lives you're changing. And I just want to end it by saying, and I want the whole community to listen to the words from Billiy Moore, because here's what he said: our kids are in trouble.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Spotlight on the Community. I hope that you enjoy the episode, share the episode, subscribe to the show. Don't miss any of the wonderful stories that are happening here at Spotlight in the Community, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. So happy to have them the sponsor of the show. We record here at their headquarters in their beautiful studios. And they're an amazing organization supporting San Diego for over 60 years. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode of Spotlight on the Community.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.